Welcome back everybody to another Warframe video. I am now going to be showing you my Ash stealth build. This I've personally been working on for a while now, trying to get it just right. I have another build of Ash that I plan on using later in more challenging situations, but this one's best for like solo and whatnot.
Operator, I thought you'd want to know.
Alright, for Ash, what I basically have is all the skills. They're all pretty much useful in their own respect. Blade Storm, obviously the fatality that just slaughters everything in the area. Shuriken, quick little throw out of a deadly move. If it doesn't kill the enemy, it usually bleeds them to death. Smoke Screen, obviously the stealth. You're going to need that for it's the main ingredient for the stealth build. And Teleport, you can basically teleport enemies, usually revealing a blind spot or stumbling them to use a fatality on them. Doesn't cost much energy and it's pretty easy to pull off, especially when stealth. Flow to raise the energy max to hold more energy to pull off said skills. Health, so you're not so damn squishy. More or less, without that, he's only going to have somewhere between, I think it's 400 and 450 health or so. Streamline to lower the cost of the skills to make them more usable. Constitution and Continuity to raise duration to make the smoke screen last longer. Also allowing you to stay in stealth longer, which pretty much doesn't really affect these other skills, but that's your key ingredient. The longer you can stay stealth, the more ground you can cover without being detected. Narrow-minded also works in this, but at the same time it lowers your power range, which nerfs a lot to do with Ash. Power range is more important than you might think with Ash. Blade Storm, the actual circumference around the enemy you target will decrease. It means the more enemies that are around the enemy, you can still kill as many, I believe, but the problem is by shrinking the range, it will only target enemies that are closer to the enemy, not ones that are just nearby. Where it is right now, it usually only targets the enemy you chose, plus maybe like several enemies that are just adjacent to it, maybe 5 feet away, 6, 7, 8 max. Whereas a raw, the move could usually kill everything in the room. If it's an average size room, not a large room, just enemies that are around the enemy you target, but in a pretty decent range. If you raise the range, however, it'll also kill just about everything in the room, within the number of enemies you can target. But it also affects, lowering the duration, I believe, also affects the teleport.
This is how angry. I may require maintenance after all.
Damn malfunctioning computer. The duration also affects teleport because you can target enemies further away and teleport to them, covering larger gaps. Whereas with the power range being decreased, you can only target enemies that are maybe, I want to say, about 70 yards away, not even, maybe 50. Whereas you could before about 100. Shuriken lowers the range of how far it travels, so again it nerfs that skill a little bit as well. Pretty much it's limited to enemies in the room you're in. I wouldn't try to like throw it across any large gaps to hit an enemy. You won't make it. But mostly I would recommend going with a bow. Probably the Dread or the Paris Prime or something like that, because it's already a stealth weapon. You don't need to equip any stealth mods to it. The shots are going to be not heard if at all. So what you do basically with that is the only problem with it is a charge attack, so it takes a little bit of time to shoot your shots. You got to really pick your shots, and more or less you can take out a few enemies while stealthed, or you can just go in for the melee. What I'm going with personally is the Latron Prime with Hush. So it's completely muted like the bow, but I can shoot many shots at a time. If I pick my shots, usually any enemy can go down with one headshot. If necessary, I can put 2 into them without them really causing much alarm. That's what split chamber's for, so usually I get 2 shots, one I shoot anyway. So piercing it to raise the damage, shred to shoot through multiple enemies. Sometimes you'll run into situations where you're going down a hallway and there's several enemies lined up, patrolling, and you really don't have time to go melee all of them during your stealth. So with Shred, you can just pull out the Latron and just kind of, you know, plow through them all. Serration to raise the damage. Right now I just have Wildfire and Thermite rounds just for, you know, kind of like a whatever. It's whatever you want for an element or whatever suits the situation. Currently I just have that in there for the magazine capacity and the status chance, and the extra fire now is at 367. Eagle Eyes just in there until I could find a replacement or forma the Latron Prime to make it better, but in order to make that a little better, I would probably recommend the Hammer Shot to raise the status chance as well, whatever element you do put in there. I would go with the heavy caliber, but I like my accuracy when I'm trying to do long distance shots.
Operator, are you enjoying the view?
There's not a whole lot of crit to the weapon, so I wouldn't recommend putting too much faith in that. Kunai, you can use the Kunai, you can use the Haiku, you can use the Despair, it doesn't matter. They're silent weapons, and you don't really have to worry about any real negative feedback from the enemy when throwing them at them. If you speed up your attack rate, you can pretty much shoot them like a machine gun, taking enemies out. Raise your multi-shot with Lethal Torrent, Barrel Diffusion, Hornet Strike for damage, Gunslinger for fire rate. Now, once you have Lethal Torrent and Gunslinger kind of paired together, you throw these things about almost as fast as like a Soma. So, Ice Storm and Pistol Pestilence, combine those two together to get a nasty viral damage. Also raises the magazine capacity to hold more. For people who like to use the Haiku, your magazine is much higher than the others. You could very well make a good deal with the viral damage combination. No return because puncture damage is the dominant trait. Expel Infested is just kind of, it's another whatever slot. You know, whatever the situation calls for, put whatever you need in there. I would throw Pistol Ammo Mutation, but I mean I rarely ever run out of my Kunai. I'm never throwing them that much. Other than that, probably Stunning Speed would probably be a better choice than the Spell Infested. Probably level that up some. You basically get your reload speed and status chance, which status is kind of low, but as fast as you throw them, it would pop quite a bit. But most of the reload speed on this weapon is incredible on its own. Boosting that up again and again and again through various different things will make it even better. The reloads, once this mod's maxed, it probably would remove the reload speed entirely. It'd just be a quick little grab and throw. And the Dragon Arcana. I need to finish leveling this weapon up, but this, you know, dominant firepower in this weapon is just, you can't pass it up. Currently a pressure point, obviously. Life Strike, because when there's situations where your life is just going down from, you know, running into enemies or whatever, you pretty much want to have that to bank on. You're stealthed one time, you come up behind an enemy and you just do like an execution crit from behind, and as long as you were charged during that attack, your health's full again. Explode Strike to raise the damage, lowers the attack speed, Fury to kind of counterbalance that, but still give you a 10% bonus on top. Reach, so you can cover more ground with your slashes, Rending Strike and Jagged Edge together to increase your slash damage. And Berserker, I need to level that as well. What that does is when you're stealthed, Ash always crits. Always critting equals a 10% speed boost for 8 seconds. As you level that up, it gets better and better and better. The attack speed will get so much higher, as well as the duration of the effect. Since you're always critting when stealth, it's hard to pass that up. Shade, just in case, you know, you run out of stealth, you have an emergency, and an enemy's about to locate you, he'll probably stealth you when you need it most. But other than that, I will put this build to use so you can see that it's not just mindless banter. Go find a nightmare mode and just go ahead and tear them apart. Yeah. we got timed and low gravity.
Eliminate all corpus threats. The bypass is done. Go.
Second.
Sometimes it seems like the slide attack is not a definite crit, but I mean, it's just not just in the game. Okay. That was actually kind of close. Gotta love low gravity.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
You can always time your actual like re-stealth right behind something right when you do it. It's actually the most effective way to go about it. Otherwise, you don't want to be caught with your pants down like that. It's always good to take the precaution.
Bypass complete. You may proceed.
Like right there. I guess I can kind of use low gravity to my advantage. So this is right there. What? Huh. I don't know how he got out there. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Ooh. So brutal. So brutal. See, I wouldn't be able to just keep stealthing like this if it wasn't for the power efficiency, power duration, everything just increasing the power amount. The cost, the length of how much power you have, everything in general. Just makes it so easy to just keep ducking back into stealth mode. That's game.
Other than you, I can't detect a single life form. Let's get out of here. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Another running strike. That's pretty much how it works. You can stay in stealth next to... Well, as long as you get some good energy orbs or have at least one energy restore on you. Otherwise, it might get harder to do. But in a normal mission, it's not challenging at all. I mean, this is in nightmare mode, so definitely you can see the amplification of the enemy's attack damage and whatnot. But that's the Stealth Ash. The other build I had was more focused around its ulti, and the reason for that is for harder missions where you actually can just keep spamming the ulti over and over and over to eliminate as many enemies as possible. More or less increasing the range of the ulti to, like, I think it's pretty much the whole room. So, I've never seen many enemies, if any, survive his ulti when selected. So, but that's the Stealth Ash, and if you guys have any comments, leave them in below, and see you in the next video.